to that point though, because I was flying, right? I was flying for Grant, and he said, "Hey, if I'm going to give you this contract, and you're going to, commit to being on my team on our days off, because as a pilot, you don't, you'll fly half the month, or you'll fly a trip and you'll come back, and what tends to happen is you'll go and do your own thing." He's like, "Will you work with me in the business?" I said, "Grant, that's why I'm here. Like, I want to learn. Like, you put me anywhere in your organization, you put me anywhere, coach, I'm going to do it."
Wow.
And so he's like, "Go into sales, go into this, go to the properties." Like, I literally, guys, I started from zero. I took the 4 bars that I worked my ass off. I worked for the FAA, the 4 bars. I had check airman. I had all these titles in the airline. I was there for 10 years, and I worked every day. And I gave it all back. And I said, "You know what? I'll go and sweep floors. I will go and meet the managers. I will go and just teach me and help me get better." And it wasn't like a teaching, like, "Ryan, let's do a lesson today." It was more like, "Ryan, I'm going to put you in this position, and I want you to find solutions." And so that's what I do. That should be on my resume.
I love that.
Solutions.
No problems, only solutions,
I love
baby.
that. Dude, that's one of my core values.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
It's
we
important.
always talk about this all the time.
It's important.
So, dude, you get he puts you into the fire, basically.
Yeah.
Figure it the fuck out,
Yeah,
Ryan.
I sucked.
Go here. What, I mean, you've been doing it you've been on the real estate side for about over a decade now. So tell me how you went from sweeping floors, doing whatever basically anything at all, to running the show at this point. Like, what was that journey? What's that journey look like?
Well, look, and when I got hired on as his lead captain, right, I was running the aviation piece, running everything. And that's really like a business, right? Because you have to budget, and you have to, you got staffing, you've got travel. I mean, there's a lot that goes into aviation. The other piece where, and again, I just wanted to be, I wanted to be full with Grant. Like, hey, I'm not above, I'm not below. I want to get out of non-existence with everybody. And so I want to understand Grant. And I think it's important when you go and work with somebody who you're going to grow and scale with, and you want a partner, that you understand exactly what he's thinking, right? And so he was a big car sales guy, and he became a really big corporate sales trainer, meaning where he has staff in Cardone University. And so I literally, and this is another funny thing, like Cardone University, right? Guys were doing it once, like Chris Dietz, like they'll go in there and do it, right? And some guys will fall off. I did it 3 times in like a month. I'm like, just give it this information to me as quick as possible. Let me get it done. Let me retain it, and then let me move on. Because that's been my whole life, right? You have to understand, as a pilot, you get really good at training, really good. And I think that's what is missing in a lot of this younger group coming up, is like they don't want to train. Like, you have to train in order to get good. To get 10,000 hours, you got to fly 10,000 hours. To get really good at purchase and sales agreements and due diligence, like everything that you have, like you have to do a lot of them and ask a lot of questions to really, really smart people. And so that's just what I've done. My first, though, like to get me into the real estate piece with Grant was, we were over Christmas dinner, and he came back and he was pissed. And he's like, I've got 340 units in Daphne, Alabama, and there's 40 units that need to be leased. And I said, "Well, can I help?" And he's like, "God, man, we're going back and forth talking." And he's like, "It's crazy." He's like, "I know you really like real estate." He's like, I've been looking for a really long time for a guy who just wants to know everything about every deal, every T12 and rent roll and financial and team member and all this stuff for a really long damn time." And I was like, well, sometimes they're right in front of you. What if I did this, Grant? What if I parked the jet, came back and did 40 leases in 40 days? What if I committed to get this thing 100% in the next 40 days? Would you give me a shot on the real estate team? He's like, "Bro, you would do that?" And so literally that's what I did. And so, and so again, these things, like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, you can't make these stories up. I literally went there. I slept on an air mattress in a single a bedroom unit in Daphne, Alabama, and I called Grant every day. "Hey, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do?" He's like, "I'd put the signs, your cell number on the front of the building. People call you." I would go back for the 60 days that people have come in who didn't rent, and I'd start calling them. And so I started recruiting. I realized the manager sucked. I realized the assistant was awesome, and I started recruiting the really good teams. And I literally leased for 15 days. I got 15 leases, and he called me on the 15th day, and he says, "You're fucking good, man." He's like, "You're coming back." He's like, "You're a goddamn animal." He's like, "You're coming back. You're on the real estate team."
I love that. You found solutions. You went out there and figured it out. That's it.
I just do work. I just do the shit that people are not willing to do, knocking on doors. I was nervous, man. I called Grant's office. I was nervous. It's like weird. I'm like, dude, I don't even sweat, and I'm sweating. You know what I mean? Like, God, like I'm shaking a lot of hands, but he's an animal, man, and he wants a bunch of animals around him. I was like, I've always wanted to be an animal. people just told me that animals belong in cages.
Right.
And I'm like, no, they don't. Why? What the, like, really? We're the ones that changed the world.
Oh, man. Oh, dude, I love you, man.
Dude, I love you too, bro.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love you.